Alright, starting off a 64 player draft here. Let's see how we open. Well, Little War Waste is alright, Wild Instincts is fine, Husk is okay. None of those are what I would want to first pick though. Consecrated by Blood is okay, but I would want to know I was black before I took it. Shaman of the Pack, very good, but I don't really want to take a double colored card first. Conclave Naturalist is very good. 5-mana 4/4 is fine. The ability to kill an artifact or enchantment is very relevant in this format. I mean, you can just routinely get a Thopter, and that is pretty strong, even if you don't get anything better. A little awkward that I'm sending Instincts and Shaman to my left and passing what may be a good land for me, but I think Naturalist is just enough better than anything else that I'm pretty happy to pick it up here. And Force Mage is okay. Reef Soul is going to be tough to pass, but there's also War Oracle. Someone took a common. I don't know if you take Free Blade over Oracle. Between Oracle and Reef Soul, that really leads me to think that it was probably the shot, Fiery Impulse, which makes me less inclined to take Ravaging Blaze, even though that card is quite good. Reef Soul is very strong, and that is a pretty good signal for black, but War Oracle is just so good that even though it's double colored, I'm going to take it here. I think it's enough better than Reef Soul. I'm going to take it. I think that's debatable, but yeah. Why you hurt me so? Immediately punished, but there's a Free Blade. So pretty clearly black is open from my right, and it may well be that I have to abandon green here. I'm not going to take Token Freeblade over Priest of the Bloodright, or excuse me, I'm not going to pass Token Freeblade for another color if I'm getting Token Freeblades. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think the value is there, because I could certainly take Jessian Thief, and that's a card I want to play, or I could take Priest of the Bloodright, but if I'm getting white, I want to take as much white as I possibly can, and Token Free Blade is just one of the best cards in the format, so yeah. Okay, so I was gonna say Cruel Revival, but there's also a Rock Maulers, which and a Disciple, which each lead me to think that green may be open. There's also a Mighty Leap, but as good as tricks are, I don't necessarily want to be taking a trick this early. Titan Strength is pretty good, but there definitely could be better red, and I am pretty confident that red is what's being taken to my right, so it's a question of whether I'd rather have Maulers or Disciple. I think they're both pretty good. I feel like Disciple is a little bit better in more of a passive deck, and Maulers is a little better in an aggressive deck, and white-green seems like it would probably be aggressive. Okay, maybe red is not what's going to my right. There's an owl. I don't think there's any way I end up blue. But from what I'm seeing, blue and black seem to be open from my right, and it's an owl or a vial, and I don't think I'm going to be too disappointed if I don't pick up a vial. So I'll take the speculative owl. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe red is not what's being cut to my right. Unholy Hunger, very good. Also an Aerial Volley, which is a sideboard card. Grasp the Hieromancer, which is fine. Yeah, this is awkward. I feel pretty unconfident. Like, grass was fine. It stays white. And yeah, I don't know which of these other colors to try to move into at this point. Alright, I'm going to take the mist here. Again, I'm taking white cards. Artificer, I've never seen it be great. Clash of Wills is fine. Aerial Volley is a good sideboard card. Automaton is okay if you have to play it. Maritime Guard is a necessary evil. Stratus Walk is fine. Majoring Bully continues to go up for me. I still don't think he's particularly. Still don't think he's good, but he's better than I ever thought he was. I don't understand anything that's going on here because this, to my mind, this is like the third best red common. Fire Impulse, Gearcrafter, Sergeant. And Sergeant is very, very high compared to other cards. I mean, I'm taking it. Yeah. I don't see any reason to think Active Treason is going to be good in my deck. Shaman of the Pack. I'm not black, so taking the Spirit. Of course, Spirit is a playable green card and it wields, so it seems like that's probably a good sign. I'll take Heavy Infantry. That is a playable. It's not very good, but it is a playable. Move the Owl to the sideboard. And, I mean, as good as Naturalists are, our green is not great, but we have two really good white cards, and Grass was fine, and Mist is quite good, so overall I feel pretty good with where we are. Not great, mind you, but I've seen worse. Ox is a good blocker. I don't know that, I'm going to end up running into someone more aggressive than me, but thus far I'm not looking nearly as aggressive as I would like to be, so. And having an Ox is never bad. Oh, well, that's very, very nice. Is a gift. I only have 6 creatures thus far, but of course I'm not counting the Sergeant at this point, but I'm actually going to move him out of the way. But 6 creatures is fine at this point. I'm going to cut the Slug. I'm never going to play the Mantle, and I'd rather not face the Slug. Yeah. So, already a little glutted on the high end. Definitely looking to take 2 drops all day at this point. Leaf Gilders are fine, but I'd rather be getting Free Blades, of course. Would probably take Clerics over Leaf Gilders. I don't know if that's exactly true. Well, that's unfortunate. It is a very strong card. I could take it, but I don't think there's any chance I really get enough red to make that card worth, to make it worth going into red, even though that card is stupidly good. For me, there's a Force Mage or an Aven. I'd rather have Aven between those two. It's vaguely possible that a Force Mage or a Spirit would wheel, probably the Spirit. I don't like this card. I would rather not play this card. This is fine. This is bonkers, but yeah. Just going to take an Aven and go from there. Alright, another spirit. There's a Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, which is a fine card, a Mighty Leap. Tricks are good. Drug Invocation, which is very swingy and very powerful, but if I were going to take a swinging powerful card, I'd take the Phalanx. I kind of feel like I'd just rather have Blessed Spirits. Obviously, it's much better in white-black, but I don't know. The only time I've ever resolved this spell, it completely won the game on the spot, as a 7-drop should. It's just, I'm still not clear on how good a 7-drop is. And, I mean, 3 mana 2/2 flyer is fine. Odds are pretty low I'm going to have, well, I have Hieromancer. Grasp of the Hieromancer. Odds are pretty low I'm going to be pumping it, but yeah. I'm just going to take that. Hello. Oh, man. The uncommons. Right. Spell Mastery is making an instant. Ah, this is tough. This is not a question I have thought about before. So Knightly Valor is stupendously good. It's just 5 mana. You get 4/4 Vigilance worth of stats split between 2 creatures, including pumping one of the creatures you already have. It's extremely good. But Swift Reckoning is 2 mana kill a thing. And I need 2 mana plays, and this is very powerful. So, just going to take the 2 mana card. Speaking of 2 mana cards, Hallowed Moonlight is, excuse me, it's not bad. It's a 2 mana cantrip that, you know, it can hose Thopter Makers, it can hose, excuse me, it can hose Dragon Fodder. It's just generally rather good, but I feel like it's not nearly as good as actually any of these white creatures, or even the Force Mage. I'd rather not take another trick at this point. I'd be happy if this is what I would really like to pick up on the wheel, but I'd be fine grabbing this as well. Any of these 3 white cards I'd be happy to wheel. I'll take the Force Mage if I have to, but I like Stalwart Haven. Oh, well, white is definitely open, and Anointer of Champions is a payoff for being white. This card is awesome. An Oromancer, which is fine. Not really going to wheel anything out of this pack. Hopefully a Caustic Caterpillar, but probably not. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy to pick up an Anointer of Champions. So, a Crow and Jailer is not a card. There's a Caves of Koilos, which, I mean, it's probably worth a ticket. Gather the Pack, which, if you're running a bunch of creatures, can be okay. Pilgrimage is only forest. It's ramp, but, I mean, it's not looking like this deck is going to need ramp. I don't really like Gather. You've got to have a bunch of creatures to make it good. So it's either Sidearm or the Caves, and I may play Sidearm. So that's not a card. Holy crap. It's, I love it when a plan comes together. So, yeah, so far we're looking great. I'd love to have more Consuls, Lieutenants, and that kind of thing, but so far we're looking to be very much white heavy, white centric, and with some very good cards. Oh, well, maybe green is still open, because any 2 mana 2 power creature is very good in this format, and the fact that, you know, getting a Timberpack Wolf this late is a very good sign that either nobody is in green, or they're doing something weird. Or, you know, maybe there's only one other person in green. I already have a spirit. I'd rather have Force Mage, especially considering we're now getting to the point we have, you know, a decent amount of 2-drops. It's not getting. It's getting to the point. It's somewhat likely we may be able to go turn 3 Force Mage into bash in with, say, a Free Blade, and that is a very, very good play. The Knight is, I think, the better 3-drop. They're very close. The difference between Renown and Evasion here. I think they're both better than a second Mighty Leap, just because I want to have my number of creatures higher. Interesting that this is still here. It's very powerful. Going to pick up the Knight, though. And Pack 2 has looked very good for us overall. I don't think I'm going to play a second Grasp, but you never know. It's possible. The Ring Warden and the Sergeant over here. So I'm liking how we're looking thus far. Quite a lot. And Force Mage also enables us to have, like, turn 1 Anointer, turn 2 nothing, turn 3, you know, attack for 3 with the Anointer, which is probably going to be enough to get in at that point. Rambler is the only card that's actually a card in this pack, so I'm going to cut it. I do not care if anybody runs either of those cards. They are welcome to them. Likewise, you know, later on in the game, Force Mage on either Maulers or Oracle is just extremely, extremely good. Or on any of our flyers. All in all, I would say Pack 2 was extremely good for us. Can hope for a strong Pack 3, and considering we got a stupid late Free Blade, it seems decently likely. Well, I was figuring I'd be passing whatever this was, but there is a non-zero chance I play Gather the Pack. I don't think it's high, but it is non-zero. What I would like to get out of this third pack is either a stupid mythic or rare bomb, or just some suppression bonds and some more 2-drops. Obviously, Free Blades would be what I want, but I'll take what are they? Knights, Pilgrims, whatever the 2-drop is that gains life if you have more of them. I cannot remember the name right offhand. Which is awkward because I think I've already said it this draft. But, you know, that's what happens. You get older, your brain goes away, and apparently like 5 minutes is enough for that to be true. So remember, hug your loved ones now, because you may not remember them at the end of this video. Semi-true story. There are such things as friends, minds, and videos, so, you know. This 2-drop slot is getting a little bit more like I would like to see it. Okay, there are cards here. Ren Wingmare is fine. We're not looking to cast, at this point, a lot of non-creature spells. It is awkward, of course, with Mist, but 3-mana 2/1 flyer is completely okay. It's also a rare that could possibly be a thing at some point. Heart Beast, unless I get a suppression bonds, I don't really want to have a Heart Beast. Leaf Gilder I'm not amazed by, in all honesty. But it is a 2-mana 2/1. And, you know, the fact that it can randomly ramp into one of these other cards is good. I'm going to take the Leaf Killer. Cleric. That's right, Cleric of the Forward Order. So now it's Cleric or Blessed Spirits. Again, don't really have much in the way of enchantments. It's still just the one, correct? That is correct. So, picking up another 4-drop would not be bad, but I feel like I have enough high end and enough ways to push through that that a 2 or a 3 would be more what I'm looking at here. And that does make me pick Cleric or Blessed Spirits. And I think it's actually very close. The evasion is very good. I just feel like I need the 2-drop. I keep coming back to that, but I feel like that is the mantra for this set. You just need 2-drops. If I knew I was going to get a free blade and not see another cleric for the rest of the pack, I might make that choice differently, but I feel like I really want to have 2 to 3 more 2-drop creatures. And if I can have that, I will trade a Blessed Spirits for like a Knight or an Orchard Spirit, just to have that the increased likelihood of a turn 2 play. Okay, so this makes me like that earlier choice even more. I would feel like I was getting a little high on 3-drops if I had taken the Blessed Spirits and was now taking the Castellan. But I'm not passing this card when I'm in green-white. Like, I'm sure there's something that would make me do it, but that card is not here. Like, I would be happy to take a Timberback Wolf. I'd be glad to have another Gilder or another Aven. It's possible that I wheel something here, although I really doubt it. It'll probably be an Ox. Yeah, it'll almost certainly be an Ox if I get anything. But this card is bonkers. I don't have a volley, so I'm just marking this because this is a card you very much would like to have in your sideboard. You want to have access to it when you play your games, and it's important to, when you're drafting, to remember that you have a sideboard card. There are things you want to deal with, and to have cards for. Also, this is breaking my heart. It's 2 in the same draft, but it's one of the best cards. Best cards in white because it deals with a thing. There's a thing you need dealt with, and that's how you get rid of it. Definitely taking bonds, and very, very happy. Heavy infantry, I'm wanting to cut. I would not be sad cutting veteran sidearm. I'll decide, after I've gotten all my picks, what I would rather do. Okay, this is somewhat interesting, I think. Zendikar's Royal. I don't know. It is a finisher. It can attack on a completely different axis, but I'm feeling pretty good about the axis I'm already attacking on. Ascetic is a spell creature. Mist is another trick, but Mist is so cheap and so good, I think I just want the second Mist. I will also point out that Mist is one of the main reasons I passed on Wingmare. I would be glad to have a Wingmare, but the ability to have Mist plus another creature in the same turn was enough to make me choose the other creature over the Wingmare in that opening pack. I already have a Timberback Wolf. Going to take another Timberback Wolf. It's also a 2 over a 3. I think it would probably be Wolf over Knight, even if it didn't have the first Wolf, but that does make it better. Also some actual cards in that pack, which was interesting. Thus far, I'm quite liking where we are. I feel like I can cut the heavy infantry. That's not a great card. For now, I'm going to cut the sidearm. And honestly, the next cut's going to be rather tough. Maybe the Orchid Spirit. Wild Spirit's more removal. I mean, we've got plenty of creatures. They're good creatures, and more removal just makes it even easier for us to get in there with our creatures. Wingmare came back. I did think that was decently possible. I wasn't banking on it, but very glad to see it. May end up playing it. I mean, again, 3 mana 2/1 flyer is fine. More likely to be a board card with as good as this deck is looking, but still. Jeez. So the 4 and the 5 drop are quite powerful. I'm probably going to take Invocation because, again, we have a lot of creatures. As good as the 4 and the 5 drop are, this is just another way. This is a way to end the game. 2 drop into 3 drop into 4 drop is another way to end the game, but I don't think the Disciple is as impactful as Invocation. I think it's decently possible. I could be wrong there, but I feel pretty confident that that's at least a reasonable way to look at things. Like another 4 drop dude, I don't think has as much likelihood to win me the game as just this big spell. And I mean, that's one of the positives you get from having a good curve is you can play really good, really big spells. But you have ways to leverage them. If you just have a bunch of really big spells, you're probably going to die before you can get to them. Dismissal. No small surprise that there's 2 counter spells at the end here. For one, I don't think more than maybe one person was in blue, and counter spells aren't great in this format. I think Dismissal is fine. It's more of a board card, and Clash of Wills is fine. You can probably start Clash of Wills decently enough. But yeah. So now I've got to look at cuts, and these 2 guys I'm glad to have as finishers, the Rock Smallers and the Naturalists. They're just very good cards. Invocation, I really feel like, I mean, it's not an overrun, but in this deck it's functionally basically the same. If I pump all these dudes up and swing in, I've got, probably by the time I'm done making cuts, 16, maybe 17 creatures. I'm very likely to, one trade 3 of their cards for 1 of mine and just be massively ahead on board afterwards. So the question is, what do I cut? And The first question is whether it's one of these enshrouding mists. I feel like before I cut that, I would look to cut the Wingmare. Again, 3 mana 2/1 flyer is fine. The ability, because we have so many creatures, doesn't really lower the value on it much, but our other creatures are so good that I feel like that in general our cards are outclassing the 3 mana 2/1 aspect, especially since there are a few ways to deal with an X1 in the format, and the existence of Thopters makes X1s, especially X1 flyers, considerably worse. Knight is probably going to be a cut. Again, it's fine, but it's one of our worst cards, which makes me very happy because it's not a bad card in Limited at all. I could cut Grasp. Grasp is very, very good, though. Let's group creatures separately. So, again, in the same thought process of cutting Knight, there's also cutting Orchard Spirit. It does have evasion, but it's mostly just a Grey Ogre. It's a very nice target for Force Mage, of course, and goes well with Anointer of Champions. But I don't think it's a stronger card than, say, a Stalwart even. Force Mage is also potentially a cut. Again, it's a Grey Ogre with upside, just like Orchard Spirit is. And it's a question of whether the one-time +2/+2 is better than the pseudo-flying. And that may be true. My thought process, though, is we have so many creatures, and they are so good, especially with the Free Blades and the Castellan and the Avens all having, and even the Oracle, all having Renown. Also these guys, all having Renown, that makes Force Mage that much better, because if I pop in and make a Free Blade a 4/4 on turn 2, are they going to chump? If that's their plan, I feel amazing with that. And by the same token, if it's turn 6 and I have a War Oracle on the board and I make it a 5/5, if they're trading 3 cards for my War Oracle, I'm sad for it to die, but I'm very happy with the exchange. So, even though in a vacuum, Orchard Spirit I think is more powerful than the Force Mage, in this deck I think Force Mage, there's just enough that it can boost and make hard to deal with that I feel like Spirit is definitely a cut. Knight, it has Renown, but I really feel like it's just a dude in general. I'm not sure about starting Grasp. Again, it's another way to get through, but I kind of feel like just playing a bunch of dudes is going to do that well enough. So if I cut Grasp, the question is whether I cut a Knight or a Mist. And the point I'm thinking about here is Mist better than Grasp? Is the second Mist better than Grasp? I'm pretty sure it is. Mist is very, very good. And looking at this collection of spells, I really do think that Knight of the Pilgrim Throat is just the cut. It's a little awkward because again, the card is fine. This deck is very good, which is why it gets cut, why the knight gets cut. In general, I'm very happy to play that card, and it's a little odd that that I'm not doing that here. So I assume I'm running 10-7 here. I could probably get away with 9-8 just fine, but I don't really ever want to miss double white on turn 4. It's important to note that the tactician did not wheel. In this deck, I would probably play tactician over the second mist, the way I have it set up here. But I do feel very good about what we have here. It kind of gives up a little bit of value to play these lands, but I feel like it's good luck to run on color lands you draft. Yeah, so this is saying 10-7, and I do believe that's right. If I had picked up consuls, lieutenants, and the like, maybe I I would be able to run 11-6 pretty much, I would say, but yeah. 10-7 looks fine. I like the look of the deck, and yeah, I'm pretty anxious to play some games with this. See you all in round 1.